Hey y'all, hey, welcome back to the channel. I am Tinesha Davis. This is Fun and Budget. She is Rochelle Adamson of Rochelle Adamson Budgets. And in this video, we are going to talk about the Dave Ramsey advice we purposely chose to ignore and still ended up a millionaire anyway.
Get into it.
Let's talk
Almost
about
millionaire.
Almost paid off house. Don't play with us. Do not play with us. And we ignored the advice. I mean, there's a lot of advice we kept.
There is.
There's a lot we kept. But we're going to talk about what we did not, what we threw away, okay? I have 5 things I'm going to talk about here on this channel. Over on Rochelle Adamson's channel, there's going to be 5 more things that we talk about. So that's 10 things in total. And the whole purpose of this is so that you know that it's okay to carve your own path in these financial budget streets and still win with money.
I love it.
I took your tagline. Yup. So let's talk about it.
All right.
Thing number 1.
Okay.
And I kind of feel like this should have been your thing because you're the one who has your house almost paid off.
What you say? What's number 1?
Number 1 is I did not put down 20% on my homes when I purchased them.
That is such, and we shared that. Neither of us did that. And I think that's so interesting because like people always ask, how much did you put down on your house? That's like the first thing people ask. Well, first they ask how much was the house? And then they ask you, well, you put down 20%, right? You know you're supposed to do that. And what's interesting is I just recently had talked to a friend out of town, and she said, you know, the other thing that I never put money down on is cars. She was like, we're always told to trade your car in, buy a new car, or put 20% down or 10% down on a car. Why? She was like, who made these rules? Have you ever looked it up to see why? And so I always encourage everybody, do your own research. Do what works for you. It didn't make sense for us in our scenario to put 20% down on our mortgage. So, and how about we didn't have it anyway?
I was about to say that. I just didn't have it. I didn't have it. And I say that because I know that there's so many people out there saying they're saving up to buy a house. They're saving up to buy a house. Or they get analysis paralysis because they feel like, but I don't have 20% to buy a home. But there's so many different loans out there. Like for instance, the FHA loan where you only had to put down 3 to 5% on the house. You know, there's different vehicles out there, especially if you're a first time home buyer, where you don't have to put a 20% down. Now, if you got it, you got it. Great, right? But for me, I didn't have it, but I did not let that stop me because this is what I knew. I knew that I could make extra payments to the tune of catching up to that 20%.
And that's what I
can buy a house now with you know, because the market is always going to grow. Homes are always going to appreciate for the most part. Yeah. So I can buy something now while the price is at this price point here. Yeah. And work my way up to invest in that 20% so that I have that in my equity. Yep. Or I can wait. And now that house is 20% higher.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? So either way, you may be losing a cost benefit. I mean, you may be losing that benefit of buying a house when it was 20%
because
lower.
You know what else I was thinking about? It's all about timing when you buy your house, like you said. So if the market is good and you pass that opportunity to buy your house, you lost an opportunity to pay less for your house. And then maybe in 2-3 years, while you were saving that 20%, now inflation has happened and the home is worth more, so it costs more. You know. So now all you're doing is paying down that house back to what it was 3 years ago when you could have bought it, right? Yeah. So that's my tactic. Instead of putting down the 20%, if I didn't have it, I just make that a goal, a benchmark goal to say, how much is the 20%? How much will it take me in extra payments to at least get that back in my equity? That part. It makes sense. When you really think about it.
This is all a game. Number 2.
Okay.
Right along that same train of thought, I did not take out a 15-year mortgage, or did I ever refinance my house for a 15-year-old? A 15-year mortgage. I didn't. I kept it as a 30-year mortgage when I first got my home. And then every time I refinance, what I did do though, is I made sure I refinanced for my same terms. Meaning if I had my house down to 20 years, I didn't refinance a 20-year mortgage to a 30-year. I kept it at 20 years. All of this is negotiable.
Oh, yeah. You are spitting game right now. Oh, scared me so bad.
Oh, somebody open the door. You know what? Come in. All right, hold on. We're going to pause. We'll be back. We got company. Okay, we're back. Let's sit on the edge of the chair. Okay. All right, so the 15-year mortgage. My whole thing with that is I wanted to be able to have control over what I paid on my mortgage in case something happens, because life happens. Life be lifing.
Life be life.
Right? Yeah. And so I never wanted to feel like, oh, because I took out a 15-year, I got to pay $3,000 a month for my mortgage. Whereas if I would have did a 30-year, I pay, I don't know, $2,000 a month for the mortgage. You know what I mean? Because in my life, I've always knew that I was going to pay extra on my mortgage that can actually outbe a 15-year pace.
Yes.
If all things go right. But just in case they don't, I have that flexibility in my budget.
Yes. Oh, and that is so true, because if we pull off paying our mortgage off by December, we will have paid it off in 13 years. And it's a 30-year mortgage. Mm-hmm. So
yep,
we're doing it.
And you didn't take out a 15-year mortgage.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is possible to do it on your own terms. Discipline, of course, is always the key.
Yeah.
But it's also nice to have that peace of mind just in case things don't go exactly as planned.
That part.
Number 3. Oh, the main thing I did not do and I would not suggest anybody do.
Oh.
Stop your 401k contributions. Girl, no. Dave Ramsey, pull up my bra strap. Okay. Dave Ramsey says, until you're debt-free, consumer debt-free, to stop all investments to include your 401k contributions. Now, while I do agree that you should not overly invest if you have a lot of debt, but if you have a 401k, and especially if you have a company that is matching your money, I would not ever leave that free money on the table and lose that compound interest? Yeah. And lose that compound interest that you could be getting. Nothing can get you back that time in the market.
That part. Let me tell you. Micah just said this in our video that we posted, what we do for a living. His boss in his original job pulled him in the office, and he was in HR, and he said, listen, I'm about to show you the portfolio. I'm not going to share anyone's personal information, but this is a portfolio of your size that has been in the working in the system for exactly as long as yours, and look at the numbers. And Micah had about $100,000, no, maybe about $100,000 invested, and they also had about $100,000 invested. Now, a lot of that was employer paid. Micah didn't put that much in there, but their portfolio was worth $500,000, and Micah's was still worth, just over $100,000.
Why?
So the idea of compound interest, we can't mentally handle that. We can't do that type of math. But when I said a math be mathin', Micah said I almost fell out.
And is it because that person had started earlier?
No, they were aggressive, so they weren't. Micah played it safe, and so he didn't. You know how you can have it and be in the aggressive lane or in the slow lane or the safe zone.
Yep.
And Micah stopped his 401k for 2 years so that we could pay off our home equity loan. We thought we were doing it right. We thought we were doing it the Dave Ramsey way, but we missed out on at least $300,000 to $400,000.
Wow.
And so that's why to this day. So imagine what our net worth would have been if we had kept it all the same.
Going. And this is the thing for me as well. I did not take advantage of 401k when I first started working.
Yeah.
Because I didn't understand it.
Yeah.
In my mind, I was like, I need that money.
Yeah.
My nose itch. I'm going through stuff.
That's the realness.
Okay. Yeah. So in my mind, I didn't do that. And I feel like a big part of that is because people don't have that conversation in our community.
Here we go again.
And we don't have that conversation when people are young. So you never see the value of having a 401k or investing in the market. Yep. And then the other thing I would do is I would start jobs and I would only do like 1%, 2%.
Yeah.
Something really small and safe. And then I would pull the money out.
Oh my God. I didn't even know you could do that.
Girl, I pulled the money out when I bought this house.
policy there.
And put it all on the house.
That's kind of different.
But even then, you know, I don't know if I would have made those same financial decisions had I understood what I was doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
You were shooting your future self in the foot.
Yes. Yeah. Now, guys, know that I do have over $1 million in assets, and a good, I guess, half of that, right?
An investment?
Yeah, it's in investments, you know? So I was able to catch up a little bit, but imagine had I...
And as we're talking about it, don't guilt trip yourself. Like, it's good to realize your mistakes and accept them, but I also don't believe in guilt tripping myself, but I believe in being solution oriented. And so I'm like, okay, from here on out, this is what we do. This is the fix now. Now that we know better, we're going to do better.
And guess what? I didn't start doing better. I did not start maxing out my 401k till I was in my 40s.
Wow.
You see?
And that's going to be us.
In my 40s, and then still became a millionaire between the last few years. The fourth thing I didn't do, the fourth piece of advice, is only save up $1,000 in an emergency fund until you're out of debt. I did not do that.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I did it. Let me tell you why that doesn't work. I did it. I was like, well, first off, let me tell you, we were really broke. So when I read that book and it said save $1,000, I was like, how many? I had never saved anything above maybe $100 or $200 before. I was such a heavy spender.
Yes.
I didn't even know how to save. So when I kind of appreciated the fact that it said it was only 1,000, because it gave me the confidence to be like, okay, let me try to, get to 500 at least, try to get to 750 at least. But once we hit 1,000, our car broke down, and the bill was $2,000, and I was like, how come Dave Ramsey's not saving us right now? But I was like, that's when I knew, like, you got to use common sense. How much do things on average in your, cost in your home? You need to look at your budget and see, okay, if we lost our job today, how much money will we need? That's how much your starter emergency fund needs to be. And that's what I tell people. We get real, hooked on to paying off debt. But what if something happens and you've been putting all your money into paying off debt all these years? And you still got to call your mama to save you.
And I have a little bit of a different strategy. Ooh. So my strategy is, like you said, because for some people, $1,000 is going to still feel steep. So I say, let that be your start. Start at 1,000. But once you reach that 1,000, I do say aggressively stop paying off debt. But my strategy was always to save a little something.
That's what I do.
You know what I mean? Even if that little something was $25, even if it was $100, I never stopped putting something in my emergency fund. I did not make it a priority.
Nope.
I didn't make a debt my priority, but I always said, okay, if I have $500, then $400 is going to go to debt, and I'm going to put $100 toward my emergency fund. So I continued actively building a fund. So that, again, when stuff happens, you still have that peace of mind, and knowing that $1,000 just may not cut it. Yet it is better than something, because a lot of people these days don't have 1,000 saved up.
That was me.
So,
cut this part out. Excuse me.
No.
Okay, we're back. So what I was going to say too is, one point that I read on an Instagram post is that your emergency fund should always be growing, at least passively, because your life is changing. So say you save $1,000 and you're single, and then all of a sudden you get married. You can't keep that same emergency fund at $1,000. You need to at least double it, because it's two of you guys now.
That makes
and then you have a kid. Well, you need to put another $1,000. You know what I'm saying? So they're like,
I'm almost like mind blown.
Yeah,
mind blown. The reason why I just thought about that is because you're absolutely right. Dave Ramsey never accounts for the number of people with that $1,000.
There you go.
And why should a single person have 1,000, but then you have a whole family and they have the same 1,000? There's more opportunities for something to pop up.
Yep.
So you're absolutely right. So if as a single person I'm putting away 1,000, then if it's two people, that is 2,000.
Yeah.
If it's three people, that is, wow.
It's gotta be, because especially when you talk about throwing a baby in the mix, diapers don't care that you only have $1,000.
And it's like, and of course, this all goes with you. You got to think about what can work for you, what realistically works for you, because we also think about the fact that you may have a 2-income household, or you may have a 1-income household, you know, that whole thing. So you got to think about it. But I just say, don't get comfortable at 1,000. Don't get to 1,000 and say, ooh, now I can stop. I just say, put something. Not a whole lot. It should never be more than what you're doing towards your debt, but something to keep that emergency fund, that savings account growing. The fifth and final thing that I ignored with all of my heart and soul, the fifth thing, I did not stop using credit cards.
I knew you were going to bring this
Y'all
up.
know I'm the credit card queen.
You are.
I believe in living a credit card lifestyle. That is what I call it. I pay for everything that I can using my credit cards to get points. And here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing.
What is it?
You know how Dave Ramsey says, we did a study on millionaires, and none of them ever said they had credit cards made them rich. Well, guess what, booze? I'm a millionaire. And guess what, booze? I use a credit card. And guess what, booze? It does contribute to my wealth, because everything that I do not have to spend, everything that I get to keep, adds to my bottom line. When I go on vacations and when I go on trips and when I go out and treat myself to beautiful things, if I don't have to pay for them because I have the points to cover them, you cannot tell me that is not a wealth building exercise. Okay? Yes, you got to be disciplined. Yes, you have to be on top of your finances. Yes, you have to shut your phone off. But other than that, I am a millionaire, and yes, I use credit card points. I take advantage of the point system with credit cards.
You are so good at it too. And you share it. You're not holding all that to yourself. You share on your channel every month what your points are looking like, what you bought with it, how much money you saved by using a credit card. This is why you gotta do the research.
My most recent thing, for example, now this is kind of high. I use a lot of points, but I'm going to tell you why. So, me and my boyfriend are getting ready to go on a cruise, an Alaskan cruise, right? The cruise leaves from Seattle, Washington. As y'all know, with this past year, we couldn't really do any international traveling because I normally save my points for the big flights.
The big stuff.
So, because we couldn't do any international traveling, I said, I'm going to use my points toward getting me to Seattle. So, I found Jay's ticket first because I knew he would be paying cash for his plane ticket. So I made sure that we got him a really good deal on his ticket. I had some things I wanted. A, not to fly Frontier because I don't like them. B, to have one flight. I didn't want to do any layovers because I do believe in convenience.
Yeah,
you
see?
know?
And this is,
yeah.
I won't talk about that yet.
Exactly. And so
video.
I got him his flight from Miami going to Seattle, Washington. Girl, guess how much his flight came to?
How much?
Now, I don't even know how this happened because when I bought the flight, it was $350.
What?
But when I paid for the flight, it was $235. So I don't even know. That's a round trip ticket. One way, no stops. No getting off the plane and getting on another plane. Round trip, $235.
It's the type of stuff that just happens.
Okay.
I have just come to the realization. I don't even question.
I don't even know how that happened because I told him how much the flight was, and then he took it out of his budget because he already gave me money that's held in my bank account to pay for stuff as things pop up, right?
Yeah.
And so he keeps track of it in his ledger. So he knows where it is, like how much he has in my, so therefore he knows if he has to send me some more money, up his, his stash or whatever. So he write down his little number. And then the next day he's checking on it. He's like, how much did you say it was? Because he got the ticket, he got the receipt. Yeah. And I told him $3-something. And he's like, oh, really? And that was that. So then I went and looked at it and I said, why was it $235? I think he think that I gave him a higher number, almost like I'm trying to
get over it.
I didn't though. I was like, yo, when I checked out, it said $3.
That's crazy.
I don't know how it got a whole $100 cheaper.
And it's not like.
And I checked my credit card statement and everything, and it was $2-something. So yeah. So anyways, what I do is when I know I'm flying with somebody or I want to kind of meet somebody because I'm leaving from the DC area. But I wanted us to get there at the same time, and I wanted us to leave around the same time. So I had to find a flight to match his flight, but leaving from my area. Yeah. In order for me to do that, y'all, I couldn't use the cheapest flight. So my cheapest flight leaving from here was about $400. But then when I started putting in the caveats, A, I don't want to have to transfer planes. B, I want to leave from my airport closest to me. And then because I didn't want to have to pay for parking for a long amount of time.
Yeah.
And then see if his flight landed at 10 p.m. I want it to land around 10 p.m.
Yeah.
If his flight was leaving around 8 a.m. in the morning, I want it to leave around that same time.
Yeah.
So in order for me to match him, it drove my flight to an $800 flight.
So what?
I used 800
points.
Yeah. So I used, wait a minute. I don't know how many points I used. I'll put the number in here because I got 66,000 points left on that card that I used. So, but I feel like the flight was like about $800. So I feel like, but did I use 80,000 points? Well, whatever it did, I used points, guys. So I did not have to use any of my cash money to secure that ticket. And I was able to get exactly what I wanted for my convenience and what, you know.
Exactly.
Because of course I could have got there an hour later, an hour earlier, and we could have made it work. But guess what, y'all? I'm a millionaire. I ain't got to do that no more.
But it's like you can do what you want. You can do what you want.
All right. I'm sorry. I don't want to throw around the millionaire word. Does that sound like kind of too cocky or something?
You are entitled to your celebratory moment, okay? You're going to be celebrating for the month of August. So.
And I think I have to say that because for the longest, I have been super conservative with money, and I still am. Yep. So a lot of times I do have to give myself permission. And lately I've been telling myself, "Girl, you're a millionaire. You could get a $200 hotel room. Stop playing." Because I be like, $200? Is that not a coupon?
Seriously.
I just did that with Vegas.
See? You can do that.
So I'm forever trying to talk myself into something and why I deserve something and why it's okay to spend some money.
And you can cut this part out. You booked a whole, or keep it if you want. You booked a $200 hotel room, but you're also fasting. So how many meals are you not eating right now that you are saving money on?
Like my groceries are super low.
See what I mean? Yeah. Like you are saving in so many different ways right now. You got some humans over there that are paying you money to live here. Like, come on.
Yeah, absolutely. But those are some of the secrets, some of the keys to, I think, building wealth.
Yep.
But y'all, until then, thank you guys so much for being here with this journey. This was 5 things I chose to ignore by Dave Ramsey.
Yep.
And still ended up wealthy anyway. Check out Rochelle Adamson's channel where we're going to talk about 5 more things that we ignored on purpose.
On purpose.
Until the next video, guys, thumbs up, subscribe, talk to me in the comments below, and tell me, does me saying I'm a millionaire offend you?
Oh, let's break out all the people who dislike. This is your time to shine, baby.
I'm sorry. But I'm new to this. I'm new. New money.
Can't people? What happened
to get me a chain?
Oh my God, you are not getting a chain around me.
About to get some grills.
No, but what happened to that age-old feeling of just being happy for people?
I don't know.
Naturally, nobody can just be. You're not nobody, but there's so many more people in the world who get upset when they see somebody happy.
Yeah,
and they just don't celebrate. So you know what? This is y'all. Go ahead, y'all. Go ahead.
Time to shine. All right, y'all. Until the next video. Peace.